Okay, so in today's video about Algorand, we are going to check out the short-term price action and see what is going on in this area. But before that, I want to give you a midterm view and tell you what is happening in here and why, in my opinion, Algorand definitely looks more bullish than bearish. So with that said, hi everyone, welcome back. I hope you are having a great time with your family and loved ones, and let's just dive in and see what is going on. And first things first, in terms of classic technical analysis, meaning support and resistances, at the moment we are above a very important, let's say, support area, which is from weekly and daily time frame at the same time. And you cannot argue that in this phase we actually got a break of the support. No, let's go on weekly time frame. Okay, you see, if you want to say that this region is broken in weekly chart, you need to see a move down and a candle close under this region, followed by that a pullback and then a continuation of the move down. And as you can see in this area right now, we're not even having a candle close under here. So for now, I can definitely tell you that we cannot say this region is broken. So hopefully it is going to act as a support area, and as long as we are above it, I believe we can count on a very solid bounce back. So in terms of classic TA, in my opinion, so far we are definitely in a good place. Now, what about Elliott Waves? Let's actually go on a less busy chart, maybe from crypto.com. Yeah, sure. Excuse me. Okay. Here's the deal. If you want to argue that right around this area we are going to have our final top and we're going to start from here a massive bear market, okay, you must be able to find off of the highest high in this region a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wave down. This specific example is a normal 5 wave. Rules for it are we should not have overlapping of the waves between wave 4 and 2, and in any kind of impulsive movement, wave 3 right in here should not be the smallest wave. And based on that, let's go in here and see what is going on. So pay attention to this. I think I talked about this in the previous videos, but since these days in every single video I get a bunch of new viewers and subs, I feel like I should talk about it again, so all of us have a better understanding of what is happening in here and why my primary scenario is still bullish. Now pay attention to this. In this move on the upside in Algorand, we actually took this important high. Now because we took this high, we are going to say, in case you want to be absolutely bearish and you want to argue this is the start of a bear market, then okay, you must be able to find from this high to about this point a 5 wave down. And I think our best shot at finding an impulse is if we say, if I just take this one, excuse me, this is 1, this is 2, 5 down into wave 3, correction for 4, another move on the downside into wave 5. And here's a very important point. I have measured the length of our wave 3 before in a lot of videos. This is actually the smallest wave, which is a big no-no in terms of Elliott waves. So what's the message? Basically in algo, I'm gonna say it's actually quite hard to find in this initial move on the downside an impulsive structure, and that suggests that overall there's a very high chance that we are having a correction, and after it's over we are going to continue our move on the upside in order to at least take this high right in here about, let's say, 61.5 cents. However, I do not believe that we are going to stop there. No. Why is that? Because sure, this is actually a resistance area, and I think it was from daily time frame around this region. There we go. But this is not that strong. And based on that, I'm gonna say, because above here we're not really having a whole lot of strong resistances, our move up is going to probably continue in order to reach to about the next important region, which is actually from weekly time frame, and it is going to be, you probably know it, around $8. So I want to argue in Algorand, after this corrective movement on the downside is over, we are going to start a very strong impulse in order to reach to at least about $8, and then sure, maybe right around that area we are going to get some rest and start consolidating. That's absolutely fine by me. Now, even if you believe that this move down right in here is actually an impulse and you do not agree with me, okay, I can respect that opinion. I don't really agree with that, but I can respect your opinion. So what you should do is actually wait a bit more and see, are we going to have a move on the upside from here or maybe a bit lower, doesn't really matter, in order to take this high right in here about, let's say, 49.5 cents. Why is that? Because if we get a move up and take this high, at that point, then okay, you definitely cannot say this is an impulsive structure and it's going to be probably some sort of a three-wave movement. My bets are actually on a WXY, potentially in form of either a zigzag followed by a double zigzag or maybe even a simple double zigzag. Nonetheless, the point that I'm trying to make is this: if we take this high, at that point we can be bullish with a lot more confidence. So if you do not want to be involved in any kind of short-term price action, all eyes should be on this high right in here. Understood? Excellent. Now let's go on some lower time frames and see what is going on. And before that, let's actually check out indicators in daily time frame and see where are we. So in MACD, we are having a sell signal, but if we are going to have a move up in the next couple of days, I'm willing to bet that in here you're actually going to see a buy signal. And the fact that in RSI at the moment we are very much close to somewhere around the oversold region, in my opinion, can be a good sign, suggesting probably bears are getting exhausted, and as a result of it, maybe bulls are going to take charge and push the price just higher and higher. So in terms of indicators, we're not seeing confirmed bullish sign yet, but I would say we are definitely on the right direction. Now let's go on H1 time frame, and see what is going on. There we go. So if you remember, in the previous videos about Algorand, I was saying this can actually be an impulsive structure on the upside right in here, but nothing goes straight up. And I want to argue that we're going to have probably a move on the downside because this bounce back was, at least in my opinion, way too quick. And I think if we go back on daily time frame, there we go. You see, this shadow on daily charts is way too large, and whenever you are seeing shadows like this, you can definitely bet that in the bounce back phase we actually created some gaps. So for us, it makes perfect sense to have a move down and fill those gaps, and then if we see the proper signs, we can argue that we are going to have, after this phase on the downside, a decent move up. And do we see those signs or not? I'm going to tell you probably yes. Yep. Let's just zoom in more. Okay, what do we have in here? This is a very solid descending channel right in here. There we go. Here's a very important point. The slope of this channel is not actually that steep. So I want to argue, because in this area we are just constantly having overlapping of the waves, this move down might be in form of a correction structure and not an impulse. And you can actually argue that this is a correction by also this method. Let's just measure this move down timing wise. Okay, this is taking us about, let's say, 120 candlesticks. On the other hand, this bounce back happened in about only 20 candlesticks. So to me, again, if you are a new viewer, you probably know what I'm about to say. Despite having more than enough time, it seems like that bears are kind of failing to pull the price all the way back down to these levels. So I want to say in Algorand, this is actually a correction structure, and soon we can have a decent move up, hopefully like a 1 2 3 4 5 wave, something like this, in order to start a solid uptrend. And for now, this is going to be my base case, and after we get this impulse on the upside, we are going to make new videos right around here and see what is going on. And can we argue that at that point, this whole move on the upside is going to be an impulsive structure and not a correction, and hopefully the bottom is going to be it. For now, let's just focus on this move up, which I do believe there's a decent chance that soon we are going to get it. And I hope I explained everything well and you understood what is going on in Algorand's chart. Anyway, if you found any value in my content, I would really appreciate if you like this video and consider subscribing to my channel and follow me on Twitter. And if you want more, maybe you want a complete analysis for your own specific crypto, or maybe you want to learn some decent EA in order to be able to make good money in the markets, you can become a member and ask me anything you want. And until the next video, I hope you have a wonderful time with your family and loved ones. Goodbye.